I'm going to call the short-term rental advisory committee to order, 6 o'clock, October 22nd, right? 21st. No, it is the 22nd.
No, it's the
Excuse me.
22nd.
Yeah, had it right. So all we really got to do tonight is talk about this draft and decide whether or not we think it's ready to send to town council, or if there needs to be more edits, and then we'll discuss the minutes afterwards, and if we feel like we're ready to vote those, or maybe postpone to give Charlotte and Kara an opportunity to comment on the minutes. So what does everybody think? Do you think it's ready to go, or is there more work to do? Did we miss stuff?
I had some comments on the draft.
Okay.
I'm just noting that, Maura, you're O, comma, Keefe, right? Last name, okay. Just want to make sure I spell your name correctly in here. So I have to find your document, Tom, which might take me 1 second.
Should have printed you one.
That's okay. As usual, I have, so many tabs open that I cannot actually see what any of them are. There we go.
Printed my wife's cabinet order to go with it.
Good thing you found it.
Okay.
I can return it. Looking for it right now, bro.
So I had a comment on, I sort of went through and made some notes, or had a question about others'
Okay.
thoughts. In the section 2 definitions, under operator, we are specifying that the person must live on Cape Cod within 30 miles from the property. I think if we're saying 30 miles, I don't think we should also say on Cape Cod.
That's
I
true.
think that the bridge is a bigger obstacle in a lot of people's minds than it actually is.
Right. You can drive right over it.
Yes, and some people do every day, as we have discussed.
Yep.
And so I would say, or maybe it's they live
Within a 30-mile radius is fine.
within a 30-mile radius. Because I would actually view an operator who lives in Wareham as a much more reachable operator than an operator who lives in Provincetown. You can be here from Wareham a lot faster than you can be here from P-Town.
And you're not within 30 miles if you're in P-Town.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
So we're just going to strike on Cape Cod.
Yes.
Must live. And on this, I thought this was the committee consensus, and, I'm no hunt in this, so,
Yeah.
someone said on Cape Cod, and
I know we did say that, but
Yeah.
I think Liz has a good
completely
point.
fine.
Okay. Let's write it down.
Easy?
Okay. From section 2, operator. And then, this was more of like just a in the first year situation question. In section 3, under requirements, letter D. Never mind. Well, actually, so letter D, we're specifying, right, that the license shall be valid for a period of 2 years, except an initial phase-in plan, in which case some initial licenses may be for a period of less than 2 years. Then in letter E, we specify that the cost of the license
This
not
is
be
3?
waived, discounted in section 3.
This is 3D?
Yeah, 3D leads to 3E, and we specify there we may not discount or prorate the license fee for any reason. Does the legal, are we creating a situation where we've made something that we can't do? So in in section D, when we're saying some initial licenses may be for a period of less than 2 years for that phase-in component, are we allowed then to change that? I would imagine if I'm operating a short-term rental and I'm in the pool of people who I'm just going to have my license for 1 year that first time, and you're in the pool of people where you're going to have your license for 2 years the first time, I should pay half of what you pay in that initial phase-in period, but we're specifying that we may not discount or prorate for any reason.
But
Another good point.
But that's a legal language.
I think that's really covered. I mean,
Okay.
So we have the fee will be defined by regulation.
Okay.
And so I'm counting on the regulation will specify that for those who have a one-year license, they get a one-year fee.
And
Okay.
honestly, we don't even know if that's how it'll be rolled out, because the inspector, the health agent, town council, they may weigh in and say that as far as for the town to manage it, it's more practical to do this, so.
Okay.
But I guess my main point is, I think it's all going to be covered by regulation, and so I don't see a need to change the language.
But we could put a question mark next to it and say,
I mean,
prorate for 1 year, question mark?
Yeah, I just want to make sure we're not writing it in a way that makes it so we're not going to allow ourselves to do that. And that's getting into like legal language that, I've expressed to Tom is not my forte, and I'm just I tried to read it carefully and, be attentive
yeah.
to
And
what
it
it was
just,
saying.
that was language from the quote-unquote current draft, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so just a point for council.
Okay. Anybody want to comment on that before we go on? Nope. Okay.
Okay. Let's see, I'm just checking my notes. Let's see, other license requirement. I think, otherwise, I had one small typo.
Ooh,
There was in section D, non-criminal disposition, the fine is missing a dollar sign. The civil fine for such a violation shall be 300,
Ruples.
I'm sorry, where are we?
I am in
Oh,
section 9.
Yeah.
But those were my
That's not too
only
bad.
items that I was
Yeah,
questioning.
skated free.
Yeah,
I will have a couple comments after everyone else.
okay. Is that it for now? Okay. You want to go ahead then?
They're really just notes for council. The first one, I actually freely admit, is a problem I think I created. Because like a year ago, I was insistent and the committee agreed to add the word trustee. Now I've gotten to thinking, isn't it really, when you have a trust situation, the beneficiary who owns a beneficial interest and not the trustee? And so shouldn't this really,
The trustee doesn't even come into play until the state passes, right? Is that what you mean?
or at all, but they're operating, the trustee operates in a trustee capacity for a beneficiary in the situation of a trust. And the language I use, which actually was existing language, the owner has an equitable title or beneficial interest. In the situation of a trust, and this is really a question for legal counsel, but I think the person who has an equitable title or beneficial interest is the beneficiary of a trust, not the trustee.
Okay.
So that's just, one question.
All right, Maura, heads up on that. You might have to fix that for us.
Then the other thing, just as a note, in 6B, I inserted language that I thought we wanted, where we changed affordable housing units, and Charlotte wanted ineligible properties, but I think it's essentially the same language, though the existing language of affordable housing units is much simpler. And I think Eric commented that a lot of this language in ineligible properties is unnecessary. And frankly, I just, my notes are not clear enough. I didn't get what Eric was saying. So just a request that, council look at this pretty closely.
Well, they're going to look at the whole thing and
No, but it's
clean it
just,
up for us anyway. So, but,
the one thing we definitely added was boats.
right,
We had that at the end.
yep.
But the rest of it's just, my notes weren't good enough to,
And we may get feedback on that as well, but we'll see. We're going
Yeah,
to
yeah, sure.
new territory there, so we'll
Yeah.
see. Boats, and I think we meant to say houseboats, but boats.
Yeah.
Boats.
I think it's modified nicely when you use the word stationary, because I think that's kind of what we were talking about, like houseboats, boats that sit, even a boat in a driveway. Like, you can't use that. It's not trying to, when I suggested, I wasn't trying to impede like on charter boats where somebody might be in town for several days that has chartered a boat through some service. It's, you have this stationary boat, whether it's on a mooring or on a dock or, in your yard.
Yeah.
And you're not using that as accommodation.
Right, so stationary is the key, but maybe we should add houseboats, just to be clear, because they're predominantly stationary.
Okay, so you want to add, what section is that, 6B?
It's 6B,
B,
yes.
at the end, add,
Okay.
I got a note from Charlotte asking us not to actually vote this tonight, because I did tell her that there would be more opportunities to weigh in, thinking in terms of that town council's going to fix this and bring it back to us,
right,
but we have to send it to town council before she can
yeah.
tune it up.
Can we send it to town council without voting on it? Or do we have to vote on it first?
We have to vote to submit it.
Okay,
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean that we're going to vote that this is the version we like.
That's true.
does she have a reason?
She said she didn't even see it, but I think she must have overlooked Liz's email, or yours.
It came
shared
from
it?
you.
That's right, it did. I sent it to everybody. Guess in retrospect, I probably shouldn't have really scheduled this meeting tonight, but she said she wasn't going to object before she left.
Right.
She said, go ahead.
But Doug, I do want to be clear on the process. We're approving it for submission to town council, but I hope we're, then when town council has approved it and we're ready to go for hearing, we're not going to like revisit the document.
I would think we will, and that's what I meant when I said she'll have an opportunity.
Okay. I just want clarity.
Jim, did you see anything that you had concerns with?
I didn't. I thought it was a pretty good summation of everything we talked about. So, thank you for your efforts, because I think it really boiled down a lot of the key points that we discussed, and I think it reflects the direction that the group was trying to move in.
That's pretty much how I felt. I didn't see anything else that I would change afterwards.
Yeah, I think, like I said, it reflects what this committee kind of was working towards, and I think now our next step is to send it to town council to get their feedback on the language that's in there, and then present it to, a community forum or the select board or both, and get the feedback of those groups, and kind of along the way, we'll be continuing to make adjustments as we get feedback from other people and consider perspectives that we might not have considered as a group.
I'm going to actually ask another slightly nitpicky question, just to make sure. In that section 3, again, the requirements, I was just rereading. Letter H, we have a required lease provision, and I was just curious if the word lease is is an agreement between the owner of a unit and someone who's renting the unit on Airbnb or one of the other platforms, is that technically considered a lease, or is that a rental agreement? I guess, is it a short-term lease, or does it matter? Am I yet again overthinking?
I think with short-term, there is no lease.
Okay.
By nature, there's not a lease. Just a short-term rental agreement is defined in the parameters of either the online platform, or if you're renting it individually, you'd have your own sort
Right.
of short agreement. I don't know how that would work, honestly.
I'm
but-
just wondering, because we say we have a required lease provision. The lease for the premises shall include a provision requiring the tenant to make the premises immediately available, in case of a complaint or an emergency. But if it's not technically considered a lease, should we refer to it using different language, that provision?
Sorry, I just wanted to finish this in case
Okay.
Charlotte might be viewing the meeting online and have an opportunity to answer. Would you mind repeating that?
That's okay. So if we're specifying that there needs to be a provision in the lease for the premises, but an agreement between the person in the unit and from the person from whom they are renting the unit is not considered a lease, is that the correct term to use?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that.
I need a grown-up to answer that question.
Would you like to weigh in on that?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to delete that whole section.
Oh,
Not only is there no lease for most of these short-term rentals, but requiring entry, at least apartment upon complaint, is probably a constitutional violation of the
Okay.
Fourth Amendment
Right.
against unreasonable searches and seizures.
all right then, we don't need to
And
worry
in an
about the
emergency,
specifics.
They don't
Okay.
need permission.
I'm sorry?
In an emergency, they don't need permission. They don't,
If there are
we can't
extras-
demand permission, but we also don't need it because it's a public safety emergency, I guess.
Right, you can't require a sort of tenant landlord provision to be incorporated into a private agreement that enables the police department to enter the dwelling. It's a constitutional violation.
Okay.
So we're actually going to strike 3F,
Yeah.
okay?
Okay. Do you want to share any other feedback with us? I mean, I don't know what else we have to do other than to send this along, but maybe I should get you a microphone.
Oh, do you want me to go up there?
Or I could get, yeah, because we are on FCTV, but they won't hear us unless we have the mic.
So Eric and I both looked at this together, and it's very well constructed, I will say that, first and foremost. I did identify a couple of things that we are going to probably tweak or just wordsmith. The definition of owner is something that we are going to likely revise. And let me just try to switch back and forth with this other document, hold on. Both the definition of owner and operator will be just updated just a little bit, just to make it a little bit more clear. And we're gonna look at that, the word trustee, to figure out what the best way to address the concern is here. We're seeing a little bit of overlap between the definition of owner and operation, so we'll streamline that. Some other things that we had initially talked about, well, So the phase-in period, having different license terms at the beginning is not a great way to administer this. It's probably going to lead to some just problems in the health department trying to issue the licenses. I really just recommend one license term and have everyone be subject to that. We also do not prorate any fees for any licenses at all. And so I don't recommend incorporating that.
Okay.
Mark, just a question on that. So I think the intent was to avoid the health department from being swamped with all the applications at one time. And so that if we could phase it in any way, you know, some 1 year, some another year, whatever is figured out.
Us trying to be helpful, but maybe if it's not helpful, then we'll.
I think that's just exacerbating the situation.
Okay.
That's fine.
Because then they'll have to track, you're just giving them something else to track.
Okay.
Okay.
So then in that case, would you recommend to amend that to say that the license would be valid for a period of 1 year?
We'll look at it and
Okay.
we'll offer language.
Well, but we're recommending 2 years.
Yeah, we recommended the 2, just trying to make it user-friendly because a year goes by quickly. If that's not practical, then we'll see what comes up.
So we're looking at that prohibitions for the affordable house, so that makes sense.
Yeah, great.
We looked at that, and we see where you're going with that, and so Eric and I will be able to come up with some
Yeah, great,
some
thanks.
good ideas. And I love the incorporation of the campers and RVs and houseboats, and so we
Great.
might just massage that language a little
Great.
bit. What else did we talk about? So, in section 11, so the town manager doesn't implement bylaws. That's not one of the town manager's responsibilities, so we're just going to look at that and make some suggestions.
Go for it.
Yeah. There was something else.
Maybe we strike the word manager, designee. The town is authorized.
What's that, Doug?
I would say maybe we just strike manager and his designee and say the town is authorized. But whatever, you guys fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll offer something for discussion to give back to the group. Those were the big ticket items, and I'm glad that this is where it is right now, because I understand that there are some open questions still, and this is actually a great place for us to take this on, so that we can put this in a better position as far as legal form for you guys to tidy up details. So I'm perfectly happy for you to just go ahead and let me and Eric just go ahead and make some changes at this point.
Would I be accurate, what I just said to Charlotte, that there'll be time for her to weigh in when she gets back, and if there's critical
Wouldn't do
things,
anything without her.
and critical
No
things that
decision.
needed to be added, we can,
No ultimate decisions could be made without Charlotte,
okay,
quote
it's on
unquote.
record.
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming, I
Thank you,
appreciate
Mark.
it.
Yeah, just a quick question. Maura, you have the edits that we talked about, or do you want me to?
Today?
Yeah,
Yes.
great.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah. I was able to keep up.
Excellent.
And it's on record, so we'll watch this again.
Oh, great.
Okay. Is there more that we'd like to do tonight? Do you want to do the minutes, or?
Well, let's make a vote.
I couldn't print the minutes. They were read-only, and
Oh.
I couldn't forward them either. Because I don't know, maybe it was just me on my iPad, but I couldn't.
Yeah, you should have that anyone, well, I can make you an editor, Doug.
Doug, I'm sorry, before we get to the minutes.
Okay.
Did you want a vote to submit to town council?
I think so. I was kind of trying to delay to give Charlotte a minute to respond from the other side of the planet, but I don't know that she's going to. But as Maura had just assured us that there's more time for weighing in, and it's not going to be too late, so I would like to move forward.
Yeah, so,
I'd entertain a motion to send these off to town council for review and edit.
second.
First, I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is that you too, Liz? Okay. So it's off.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I will explain that to Charlotte that we talked. I'll do that after the meeting. What about the minutes? Did everybody review the minutes? And I know Tom had some concerns about the minutes.
So, Liz, I know I sent you some suggested edits. You responded. I accepted most of them. I just never saw them in another draft.
I typed them in.
Oh, they were in the same body of the, oh, I see. I missed that too.
I'm ready to approve them.
Okay, well, did you have a chance to look at them too?
I think I looked at the original ones. I don't remember seeing a draft one, but, or a revised one.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing the revised, but I didn't think to go back and look at the same one that was,
Yeah, because I tend to work in the cloud, because then I can move from like one computer to another computer to my phone, and it's all the same document.
I gotcha.
So when when Tom had a couple of things, it's all the same original link that's changing within that document that you got sent.
Okay,
I can resend it right now if you want a chance to look at it. I can send the link. Doug, I just made you an editor, which,
I won't abuse the privilege.
okay. You can always look in the Virgin history and ask my students about that.
Okay,
Who did what when? Do you want me to resend the link, Jim?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to find your email address. Tom, do you want me to resend the link for you, or
so what were the
send it to you too? Doug?
proposed changes, Tom? They're not redlined or anything, so I don't know what,
No, I
I can show, I
I
can
don't,
tell you
I
what
don't
they are.
have them, but they're, in the document.
okay. Well, I mean, these Liz minutes are so good, I'm just gonna say, let's roll with it.
I agree with
It's
that.
almost like verbatim of the meeting.
Yeah. So I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, is there a second? Do you want to second that, or you want to
Yeah.
look at them?
I'll second it, because
Okay.
I'm,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
If we find there's something wrong later, we can always go back and amend them if we need to.
Okay.
All right. Any other business? Do you want to talk about any other, like the scheduling of a hearing or something?
Yeah, and so that sort of is a question, Maura, when's a reasonable time to expect a draft that then,
How often do you meet?
It's been variable depending on the availability of the room, because it's challenging for FCTV to cover a meeting in a different room. So we've been trying to accommodate that, so we're working around the other meetings. So every 2 to 4 weeks,
If we could have 4 weeks, that would be great.
okay?
well,
Well,
so,
that will be just for us, our committee to convene to look at them, and agree that that's what we're presenting to the public, then we'll schedule a public hearing to discuss the drafted.
So, if I could just nudge on 3 weeks, and Doug, you know the process much better than I do, but, I'm just worried about the clock to, okay, then we'll have that, and we have public hearing.
The only trouble with pushing it in that particular week is that we have town meeting on the 17th.
Oh, well, yeah,
I don't wanna throw-
yeah, no,
Can
no,
I
no, no.
ask why you're having a public hearing?
Just- It was a suggestion of the committee that it might be important to.
Instead of just
It was one of
inviting the
recommendations
public?
in the charge to have,
Public meetings, but not a public hearing, right?
Yeah, I think that's a good distinction.
that's a good point.
Because a public hearing
Yeah,
is only
Yeah.
required under certain circumstances. It demands public notice in the paper. It requires,
I like that.
I don't recommend having a public hearing. I do think that maybe you can address that issue where you want people to know about it and hear about it in other ways, maybe sending out a notice to the enterprise or something like that. Oh, hi. Oh, hello, the enterprise.
Katie's in the room.
Hello, Katie.
We've been getting pretty good coverage for a small group.
Just, public hearing has a different connotation, and it's not required for this kind of event. Yep.
Good point.
Just saying, you don't have to
And
listen to
actually, the
anything I
select board
say,
would be a bit
so.
of a public hearing anyways when it gets to that point.
Well, that's the other thing. There's a lot of process here.
Good point.
Thank you.
Okay.
I mean, that simplifies things, so.
And we'll wait to hear from you when you've had a chance to get to it, rather than scheduling the date now.
We'll try to turn it around as soon as possible.
Okay,
Okay.
excellent.
And Doug, so my concern is just only looking ahead to what are the steps, and also making sure the select board is comfortable with the time we're giving them before we ask for a warrant article.
Well, I think our timing is good, because we're coming in right after town meeting is concluded,
Yep,
and just before budget season starts to really crunch. Well, I mean, there's not much space in between, because
no, I know.
December 1st comes up, but I think that during the January timeframe, it should be reasonable to expect that the select board could address it, and that's in advance of,
We've got to have the article approved by what,
I don't know, but I'll look into that.
I think it's like January 10th.
Do you know that, Maura?
What?
Do you know what the deadline is for submitting articles for Springtown meeting? Is it as early
It
as?
should be the end of January.
Oh.
I thought it was the end, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Then
So
we should-
we're in very good shape with this.
Right.
As far as the timing goes.
yeah.
Yeah, we could do, I know late December's tough, but late December, early January for the select board.
Mhm.
And then if we have to have a meeting or two
We have to
after
meet one more time.
and we have time before, we can submit a document before the
Right.
warrant closes.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe we can give a little brief comment at the start of town meeting to put it out there a little more publicly too. You know, just a couple of seconds to say we've crafted a bylaw, we'll put it on the website, people can look at it. That's as public as you can get, right?
They could go back and watch our meetings.
That's right, they're all there.
I mean, the other point is, we'll see what people say, but I think we've done a great job of addressing the concerns that have been articulated to date.
Yeah, and you know, early on, we had good attendance from the public, and they gave us their feedback, and we
Right.
incorporated it, and I don't think we've really missed a lot, so. All right, any other business for tonight?
Motion
I don't
adjourned?
think we can really set any dates right now. We'll
It's fine.
roll with the town council's.
Yeah, we can move pretty quick through email to make a date once we have a.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Second?
Third? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Excellent, thank you, guys.